Okay, hello everybody. I'd like to welcome you guys to today's broadcast. Happy Valentine, wherever you are. It is chilly here in Toronto, Canada, but you know what? We're used to the weather. We're still gonna have to enjoy the Valentine and spread love around. I'd like to thank you for tuning in from wherever part of the world you are. So, like we always say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. And don't forget to subscribe. I know you've heard that like a broken record from every YouTuber, but we just have to keep saying that. Remember to subscribe. Remember to click on the notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video or whenever we come live, you will get a notification. Leave us a comment and a thumbs up. That also helps. And I would like to thank all those of you who subscribe to this channel newly, to make you understand that we try as much as possible to upload everything that has to do with truth and being godly and God fearing. All right, so that is out of the way. There's been so many things going on in Nigeria and all around the world, and that is why we've been pushing out a lot of videos. We've been producing a lot of videos. Go to our YouTube channel, go to our video library, and catch up with so many events that has been happening. Nnamdi Kano is burying his mother and his father, such a very, very important moment in the life of everybody who is a let me even start from the life of everybody who has any connection with Biafra and the struggle for emancipation of the Biafran nation, and for everybody who is even a Nigerian, because the activities or the circumstances surrounding the death of Nnamdi Kanu's parents is something that should be of great concern to everybody living inside that geographical location called Nigeria. I'm telling you, it takes us back to the last attack on Nnamdi Kanu's um, compound, by the Nigerian military, and their attempt to kill him, and then they succeeded in killing 28 people in that very horrific incident, very shameful and condemnable incident that happened in Afaraukwu in Umuahia. They killed 28 members of the IPOB, and Nnamdi Kanu was miraculously saved from that encounter, and his parents from that period never ever recovered, and they eventually passed on almost at the same time. So the parents are being buried today. We have tons and tons of videos for you. That we've been following the ceremony. We've been following what people are doing in several parts of the world, in UK, in America, in Nigeria, in so many places. People have been having events to honor the parents of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and we in worship media, and the whole of my family, we really sympathize with Nnamdi Kanu and members of his family, and also the IPOB family. We really want to identify with you guys, with all of us. All of us are Biafrans, so we all really are in this thing together. Don't ever believe that if one is not a member of IPOB, they do not subscribe to the Biafran struggle. No, that is not correct. We all are Biafrans. We all love Nnamdi Kanu. We believe in his mission, and we identify with that struggle. It is actually very, very unfortunate and something very disheartening and shameful that the Nigerian army at the early this week, and for some days now, leading to the activities to honor Nnamdi Kanu's parents, they had moved into the environs of Umuahia, and in particular Afaruku kingdom, where Nnamdi Kano's father was the chief of that place. They had moved into that place, and they had mounted roadblocks. They were harassing people, they were questioning people. I think that is the height of insensitivity, that is the height of provocation. This guy is the king of that whole area. If this was, and that's why you don't blame people from the east when they begin to talk about marginalization, when they begin to do things, when they begin to agitate. Tell me if this was an Oba in Yoruba land. Tell me if this was an Oba in Benin Kingdom. Tell me if this was an emir in northern Nigeria. The Nigerian army will go in there to harass people who you've already succeeded in killing these two people, and now you will not allow their people to bury their dead in peace, and you just start all kinds of making all kinds of provocative statements, going into the village. Nnamdi Kanu mounted CCTV cameras all over the place, 38 of them. You went around trying to steal and dismantle those cameras. They succeeded in dismantling two of them, but he said he still had 36 of those cameras, and he beamed their live their live images on the internet. He told them the whole world is watching, and you would just imagine when there are when there's insurgency and terrorist attacks all over Nigeria. 30 people were just killed in Borno State, and the president went there and he was booed. Nigerian army could not even protect these people. A seminarian was killed. So many kidnaps all over Nigeria. The insecurity in Nigeria is nothing to write home. Is You can't even talk about it anymore. There is so much insecurity all over the country, and yet you are busy trying to stop people from attending a burial in Nnamdi Kanu's compound. What a big shame. And I'm glad that the indigenous people of Biafra were able to sound a very strong warning to Nigerian military that if they, and Nnamdi Kanu in particular, warned them in his broadcast. We have that on our channel, that if they tried anything, he was going to show them that IPOB was not serious. I mean, there is a point to which you can push a man. You killed his mother and father literally, and you cannot even allow him. He is not able to be in the country to bury them because of your activities. But those that even lost 28 other men and women in that your attack, they are still coming back to bury these two people who represent leadership in their area, in their community, and you would not even have respect for them. You would desecrate the land by coming to obstruct the burial of the king of a place. I think someone must have talked some sense into the Nigerian army and made them to back off. So the burial is taking place right about now. We also have videos that are covering them. We've been following them back to back. So that is it about Nnamdi Kanu's parents. When we talk about insecurity, and Nnamdi Kanu was talking about this too, you talk about the Southeast governors. It was a very shameful, again, you don't know what is wrong with our people. The Southeast governors had a meeting with the IG of police to talk about community policing. When Amotekun was established, everybody was happy. There was joy everywhere. The federal government tried to stop Amotekun. Did you see how people resisted them? Did you see how all the Western governors, let's even stop all this Southwest, Southeast nonsense. The governors of the Western region, they all came together. They did not care about their political affiliation. They did not care about their religious affiliation or whatever traditional divisions that they had. They all came together as people of the West, people of Yoruba land, and they established Amotekun. And the government heard it clearly that they were ready to resist them. That was the voice of the people. And what did the government do? They yielded and just told them, okay, just establish a law, to guide the operations of Amotekun. And that sealed it. The eastern governors rose up and started shouting. They said, no, no, we started this thing. We started this thing before the West. Blah, 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 blah. Made all kinds of noise. Okay, so what now? They said, oh, we have forest guards in Enugu State. We have this other one in Ebonyi. We have this other one here, this other one there. Meanwhile, I have asked questions, and these things are just political moves that they made. They were just playing to the gallery. After the launch, none of these people exist anywhere in the bushes and the forests in Enugu State and other states in the east. Just a political thing that they're playing with people's lives. The kidnapping continued, the stealing continued, the attacks by Fulani headsmen continued. Farms are still being destroyed. In fact, I featured on this program someone who participated in the elections, in Enugu State governorship elections, Kenel Zodima. I had him on this program. We all contested together. I contested for governorship under AAC, and he also contested under UDP, I think. He was on this program. His rice farms, his corn farms were destroyed by Fulani headsmen. And yet the governor of Enugu State will make you believe that they had a security apparatus that was taking care of things. But what happened yesterday, the same people that said, oh, they already had the security apparatus intact, they were holding meetings trying to come up with what will be an acceptable form of community policing in the East. And guess what they did? They kept our royal, just to show you how politicians think, they kept the royal fathers, they kept the clergy, they kept the real owners of the land, the real people, the voice of the people, the true owners of the land, the citizens of Enugu State. They kept them for 4 hours waiting for the governors and the IG. Meanwhile, the governors and the IG were at the government house holding a meeting. If you look at the hall, you will see that it was supposed to be a joint meeting between the governors, but the only massive picture that you will see is the picture of the governor of Enugu State and the picture of the president. And I tell you what is going on. The governor of Enugu State is just campaigning for his senatorial candidacy. You know, it's a normal thing. When they finish with governorship, they go into the Senate. So he's already prepared. He's done with governorship. He's preparing for 2023 when he will step down. When he has finished his tenure, second tenure as governorship of Enugu State, then he will contest for Senate of his own area. So he is ahead of time. He would come to APC. I know people like that. So all of this thing that he's doing is not in the interest of the people. When Amotekun was established, the governors held a meeting amongst themselves. Police, army, all of these people, before they knew what was happening, everything had been done. In the East, we had something that is called Imobi meeting. Imobi people, when the people sit down together like the Igbo people that we are, and we have a heart-to-heart talk. That was what was expected to happen. You go and call the IG of police, who belongs to the same people who are killing your people, and you call him to a meeting and you think that he will agree to anything that will be not in his own favor. Are we really crazy? That is not right. This is the same governor who was accused of trying to give Buhari a certain percentage in Enugu State so that he will win an election. It's funny whenever I begin to talk about the governorship, the governor of Enugu State, people will say, "Oh, you're a sore loser because you lost the elections in Enugu State." So that's why you don't see me talking so much about it. But you know what? Action speaks louder than words. All the things that we came and spoke about when we came for elections, and people said we were joking, we were not serious. All of those things are beginning to happen. I'm so impressed with Chief John Nyawodo, the President General of Ohanese Ndibo. I know a lot of us don't agree with him on a lot of things, but he got up and he walked out of the meeting when he waited and waited for 4 hours, 4 hours for the governors to come, and they did not come. He got up and they left. Most of other chiefs left, and I think Reverend Chukuma was also leaving, and I think they finally got him to come back, but a lot of them were pissed off. And I think they should send a stronger signal to the governors. The governors are servants of the people. That's the problem in Nigeria. That is the serious, sickening problem we have in Nigeria. The servants are the masters, while the people who are supposed to be masters are eating from under the table the crumbs that are left by those that are supposed to be servants. The governors are supposed to be elected officials who are there to serve the interest of the people. But what happens? They are the ones who make themselves the lords. They lord themselves over the people. They are the kings, and the people are made to worship them. I'm telling you, it is very, very pathetic. So they keep the people out there, and the lords have the meeting. Have their meeting with the IG. Can you imagine? We are talking about people who have been killed. We are talking about people who have been maimed. We are talking about kidnaps. And when you bring these people in, you keep them in air-conditioned rooms. You service them. You treat them like lords, and they fly back, and you think you have achieved anything. Well, anyway, we will see what happens in the days to come. Maybe our people's eyes will open and they will understand what is going on. It's always frustrating when we talk about things that are going on in our country, Nigeria, but what can we do? It is what it is. Every time you touch any aspect of the things that are going on in Nigeria, you are just so pissed off. Very, very pissed off. Look at Omoyele Sowore. He was in court yesterday. When I was talking with him, I told him I was pissed off. He said, "Hey, doc, forget these people. I already knew what they were going to do. We are prepared for them." You understand? So he knows that this is just going to be a ding-dong affair. They're just going to come up. Did you see how messed up the council for the government, for the Attorney General of the Federation, do you see how they were messing up? They came to a case, they were unprepared, they didn't even know what case they were defending. I think the judge was just very lenient with them. So finally, what did they do? They dropped so many charges that they had against Omoyele Sowore. Let me analyze for you guys what actually happened. They had a lot of witnesses who were going to come and testify against Omoyele Sowore. But these witnesses, they must have paid them, government, they must have paid them, bribed them, done all kinds of things ahead of time. And these people must have agreed. Now, as this whole thing gathered momentum and it became an international affair, and every Nigerian was so interested in the case, these guys who agreed to come and testify, because it was going to be false testimony, after a while, their conscience got a better part of them, and they were just like Judas. They were like, no, I don't want the money again. But of course, they've eaten a lot of the money. But they said, okay, you know what? If we're going to testify, we don't want to testify, in public. They promised them that there'll be a cubicle, they'll be masked when they are testifying. When that did not happen, when they didn't succeed in masking these people finally said, you know what? We are not testifying anymore. We don't know how we can continue living in Nigeria after coming to bear false witness against Sowore. We cannot live in Nigeria. No country will accept us. We are doomed for life. So they chose to not come and testify, to face whatever consequences than come out there in the open and show their faces. So they backed out. Without any witnesses, they dropped a lot of the charges that they had. The money laundry thing that they had against Sowore, that they were going to have some bank officials come and testify. They harassed and bullied those bank officials that they must come and testify in court. What could they do when they bullied them, and who knows what they must have used against them? And what happened? At the end of the day, they already got a report by the Financial and something Crimes Commission. Is it FNICC? They already told them that, look, we have access to this guy's account. The monies he transferred were from his business account to his personal account. It was done by him. We don't have anything against this guy, and we didn't have any millions coming from anywhere. So when they saw that it was going to be dead on arrival, they dropped that case on money laundering. How about the cyber stalking? Nonsense. They saw that that doesn't hold any water. What about the one of planning to come and planning to be supported by outside forces to come and overthrow Muhammad Buhari, meeting with Nnamdi Kano and all of that? The tape is there. It's on our channel. It's on Sahara Reporters. It's everywhere. It's on Radio Biafra. I was present in that interview. That was glaring what they discussed. That did not hold water. They had dropped that one a long time ago. So the only one that they are now holding on to is the count of treason. So it's actually treason. That's the one count, but they split it into two, where they say had intent to commit treason, and the second one where they say he actually committed treason by organizing the Revolution Now protest. All foolishly dead on arrival, whatever cases that they have against Sowore. So finally, the judge postponed the case to 11, 12, and 13th of March, another 1 month. That's very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Sowore has a family. On his Facebook page today, he was saying that who is your Valentine, and he put a picture of his wife there, and he's not able to see his children. He's not able to see his family. You just keep him in Nigeria, keep him in Abuja, where he doesn't have his business, he doesn't have his house, and you think that it is funny. It is not funny. One day we'll make you guys understand, and we'll make you pay for every. You see, the funny thing is this: the AGF, and I say this without apology, they are so dumb that you think you can get up today, charge people to court on 20 count charges, then get an injunction from the court to keep them held for 45 days, and then want to keep them held again for another 45 days, and the court grants you permission to keep these people because you are sure of what you're doing. And at the end of the case, after you tortured these people, after you made them lose a lot of money, you just wake up one day and say, okay, we're dropping this charge, You're not going anywhere. We all die here. Do you know that song that they used to sing? After the reggae, play the blues, blues, play blues. After the reggae, after all this your reggae, we will come to play the blues. Oh, you think that when you take somebody to police station, You never carry somebody to police station in Nigeria. Small time say DPO, no, I know they do again. Release the person. DPO will tell you, are you crazy? Which one? Release who? You're not releasing anybody. Oh. You must to pay. Oh. So after you people have dropped your charges, we will revisit it. Okay? So get ready. Get very, very ready for all of the times that you made Omoyele Sowore not run his business, his family, everything. Did you go to internet and see what he is worth? Go and Google Omoyele Sowore's worth or Google Sahara Reporter's worth. Then when you Google their worth, then you will realize how much money he is supposed to be making every day. So every day you've kept him in incarceration. I trust Femi Falana. That's why he is so relaxed. He doesn't even come to court anymore because the case is too little for. He sends his people to go there because you guys are kind of wasting his time. He's waiting for you. When you finish, then we'll start the case again. Did you see that the judiciary in Nigeria is being taken so they are so ridiculous in the eyes of the world that it is amazing. There's a video that is circulating all over the place. The video of members of a panel, a very high-powered panel, at a panel discussion in the United States of America, discussing the Supreme Court of Nigeria and saying that they do not have any credibility at all. They were actually advising them to overturn most of the judgments that they've given recently. Look at the case of Ihedioha in Imo State. Look at the case of Lion, or is it Lion or Ryan or whatever his name is. That one is, it shouldn't even come anywhere near where reasonable people are talking. Have you even seen? You are not educated. Well, we are talking about even secondary school education. I mean, if you're not educated, you're not educated, oh. And it's not a course. Nobody's yabbing you. You cannot go and say, I want to drive an aeroplane. And I tell you, no, it's people that went and studied how to be pilots. They are the ones that can drive a plane. You say, oh, you're yabbing me because I didn't go to school. Why can't I drive a plane? So some of you who always say, Chidi, are you saying that if somebody didn't go to university, he will not be a governor? Okay, go, when you enter a plane, let us bring one man who is maybe a loader, somebody who loads luggage in the airport, and when I say, oh, sorry, the pilot couldn't come today, but ladies and gentlemen, is this Mr. Okon is going to drive the plane today. He's our driver for today, but don't worry. I know some of you would think he didn't learn how to drive plane, but it's okay now. He's a human being. Let's allow him to drive the plane. Let me see whether you that is looking at me now and typing and trying to yab, let me see whether you will be on that plane. You will not. So that's what's happening in this Bayelsa state, where they take somebody who is a dumb individual that has no business with the governorship race, APC manipulate things and make him a governor. And right now they go to the Supreme Court because they are hell bent on having an APC governor in Imo State. They are willing to toss that guy as a sacrificial offering. Just give it to PDP. So that when you complain about APC in Imo State, Shebi will give you behind that. We are not mumu people. We are not dumb. I know you guys think we are dumb. Hey, we are not. And in due season, you will discover that we are not dumb. You know, the court system is in shambles. They finally granted Abba Jalingo bail after they were confusing themselves back and forth. The governor came out and said, no, it's not true. Me, I love Abba Jalingo. It's not me. It was you that concocted all those things against him and handed him over to be crucified by the government, your own brother. You never see anything. Maybe you come and face your people after. The same thing he said he was accusing you of. You have not even addressed that situation. Nonsense. Anyways, people, we keep facing these issues with them. Yesterday we were live and they bombarded us with all kinds of viruses, and that actually made us to go offline, and this morning the whole day we're trying to fix it. It happens from time to time, so bear with us. We're having to deal with these things, but like always, we'll never give up. So they'll keep doing what they're doing. We'll just go to the back room, fix it, and come back and continue doing what we're doing. So I'm gonna be, I'm still talking, but you're gonna see me in a short while when we've dealt with whatever is going on in the background. Yes, and so we're back. So with Abba Jalingo, they've granted him bail, but they have not released him because they gave some very funny conditions. Let me tell you the condition that they gave for Abba Jalingo's bail. Very ridiculous. This is somebody that is just a journalist, an activist. How much money do you think is a politician who steals money? Hmm? They gave him bail to the tune of 10 million naira, and they want 700,000 to be deposited at the court. 700,000. I wish they will not deposit any money at the court, because those people, somehow you don't get that money back. You never get money back in Nigeria. So if they deposit that, they should push that no money should be deposited, just like in the case of Omoyele Sowore. We're not depositing any money. And they said the shortee must have landed property. I got this from the deputy chairman of African Action Congress, um, Ken Henshaw. I got that from him. So this is the condition that they gave for our Jalingo's bail. We will meet that condition. He will walk free. And finally, all these charges, these bogus charges against him, these charges against Omoyele Sowore, they are all going to be dropped completely. One thing you should know is you should begin to take us seriously. So many things that we used to talk about in the past, and you say, oh Chidi, go and sit down. Oh Chidi, you guys are noisemakers. It is happening right before you. A lot of my friends who were mobilized, who were paid, who were recruited as internet dogs, and they were attacking us, they were opposing us. Today they are calling me and they're saying, oh boy, the condition here is unbearable, help me, help me, help me. I said, how can I help you? When I came and said, let us do this thing together, you laughed at us. Now you want me to help you with what? Don't be you want second level. Enjoy it. Enjoy. You never see anything, no. You enter one chance. At the time the second level finish with you, you will go to -1 level. Not be even, you won't even come to you go to bumpy level, because I won't see anything. Anyway, moving on. You talk about Nigeria inside Nigeria, talk about Nigeria outside Nigeria. There's this guy, his name is it somebody Vincent, on the internet. He's in Wuhan, China, and this story was carried by CNN. Very touchy story, because this young man, and a lot of other Nigerians, about 30 of them, who are trapped in Wuhan province, the epicenter of the coronavirus disease, they were crying out to their country to help them. Please help us. And this very touching story talks about this young man being there for so many 2 weeks now, and nobody has done anything to help them. And it was sad when a couple of days ago the last set of students were being evacuated by their own country, I think from the country of Myanmar. And while they were leaving, they knocked on his door and they gave him vegetables to hold on, because they don't need those vegetables anymore. And this guy, it was really, really so pathetic. He was sharing the story, and I know what he's talking about. I did a video some time ago, and I said it in a comedy form. But I said those guys in Wuhan, China, who were expecting their country people expecting Nigerians to come and evacuate them, and they should not even have any hope. And people were like, Chidi, you don't believe in Nigeria? I said, how? What are you going to hope on? They don't have any aircraft to come and pick you. Use the presidential jet. How? When the president's daughter is using the presidential jet to go for photography job. You understand? So there's nothing. There's no help coming from here. And as if I knew, the members of the House actually voted to abandon these Nigerians in China. I am not kidding you. It came up in the House and they voted against evacuating them. Every country in the world, including third world countries, have evacuated their own people except Nigeria. Nigeria abandoned their own in Wuhan, China. And what Abike Dabri came to tell them is that they should lock up themselves in their homes and not come out. This is the most pertinent advice that Abike Dabri could give to Nigerians living in Wuhan, China. They should lock themselves up. These guys are asking for something as basic as masks to cover their nose, and the Nigerian government is not able to provide masks for these people. This is the country that you belong to. This is a country that expects you to plead allegiance to it. There was a country indeed. Nigeria had expired a long time ago. We are just hanging inside that enclosure, inside that geographical, because we can't be in the sky. So we are just hanging in there until that time when we are able to have this discussion and everybody manage their own region. Nigeria as a country is not working, will not work, has already ceased to exist. It just exists virtually on paper and in our minds. I'm telling you this with no reservation, with no apologies. So my heart reaches out to our people in China. My heart reaches out to everybody there in the Wuhan province. Help will come. I don't know where from, but we'll continue to pray that help will reach you guys. God knows everything. All right. So you guys, please continue to be resilient as much as you can. Just hold on to hope. I've heard that this disease is curable. People have survived it. It is beginning to, they say it has not reached its climax, but they think that it will get to a point where it will begin to rescind, it will begin to back down, and people will survive this virus, just like we survived SARS, just like we survived Ebola. These two shall come to pass in Jesus' name, amen. As per our president, General Buhari, whatever seed he has planted in the lives of Nigerians, we wish him 1,000-fold return. And Chidi, somebody will say, Chidi, you're not supposed to be praying for the president. Yes, I'm praying for the president now. All the good things that he's doing for the people of Nigeria, please, may he gain in every facet of his life. May he harvest all of those things 1,000-fold. If he is doing good, may good follow him. If he is doing bad, may bad follow him. That's what the Bible told me to do, to pray for those in authority. So Lord, this day I pray that General Muhammad Buhari will harvest 1,000-fold every goodwill that he has towards the people of Nigeria. May he not harvest what he did not sow, but for everything that he has sown, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, whatever, just like me too, may I harvest everyone that I've sown. And for everybody else, that's my prayer. Yes, and if you cannot handle that prayer, go and search yourself. And on that note, from all of us here in Toronto, Canada, we wish you guys happy Valentine, and we love you. Bye bye.